Hello, everybody. Welcome to Color Confident, course number 2. We are learning about prep talk and bases covered. And so we're going to be talking about how to get that flawless coverage on your face, how to pick the right foundation, shade and formula and application. You've got choices, my friends. We love choices. And so I'm going to be passing this over to my amazing consultants, Kathy DeHaan and Joyce Korn. They're going to take it away. I get to just kind of MC and go right along with them during this experience. But I just wanted to give a shout out. My name is Reagan Danforth House. I am a senior sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. I have had the absolute joy of teaching women to feel more confident in the skin that they're in through skincare and color application based on you, based on your personality, your skin type, your budget, all of those things. Some women are like, I got 5 minutes to get ready in the morning, make it count. And some of you ladies are like, I will do all of the things to look amazing, to look my absolute best. I want all the tips, all the products, give it to me. And then we've got everything in between. And so we're here to guide you for some great tips that might be things that will help you every single day. And then for some of you, it might be things that are more just on special occasions, right? So I'm going to just pass this over to you, Kathy and Joyce, and let you just take it away.
Okay, well, good evening, and I'm Kathy DeHaan, and I'm going to start with my absolute favorite product, and that's the Foundation Primer Sunscreen Broad Spectrum 15. But first of all, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, all makeup looks better when it's on a healthy, well cared for skin. So a consistent skincare regimen is the very first step to a flawless face. So I do not have any primer on at this time. I do not have any foundation on at this time. However, I did cleanse my face with my very favorite product that I use every day, Time Wise Repair Cleanser. And then I use the Time Wise Repair Day Cream, which is my favorite. So my face is ready, and I'm ready to create that flawless skin. So first of all, foundation primer really is just like using a primer on the walls that we paint. Don't we? We all put a primer on and we all spackle to create this flawless look. We also know that when we put a primer on our walls before we paint them, we won't see any of the imperfections, and it will always take less paint. And that's exactly the benefit of my very favorite product, the primer. And that's the one product that I sell the most consistently to my friends, my girlfriends, my consultants, or my customers. And so being that, it is just a perfect way of reducing the appearances of the fine lines, because I definitely have them at 68. I've got some lines here and some lines here and some lines here, but I always put the primer on first after I've cleansed and prepared my skin. And it takes away, though, it helps reduce those imperfections. And it also really does help extend foundation wear. When I put that primer on and then do the concealer and then do the foundation and then the concealer, my face stays looking so flawless all day long. And that's the most perfect part of it. And as I said, it also helps you use less foundation when you use a primer. So after this final skincare step, and you've applied your primer on, and you always want, so let's do it. Let's apply that primer. So the primer, my favorite product.
Yeah, and Joyce and I also, we've got some eyeshadow on and some lipstick on.
Yeah,
but
that's all I have on tonight. I do have my lipstick and I do have my eyeshadow and everything on. So I usually just put it right here on my finger. Okay. And then again, remember, gently, gently, gently. And then I just put some dabs on. And very gently prime my face. God gave me this face. As I tell my girls all the time, God gave you that beautiful face. You better take care of it. And so that's what I think God wants us to do. He gave us a beautiful gift, women, friends. So isn't it our job? Isn't it our responsibility to thank him and take care of it? So and if you have any comments, Joyce or Reagan, please help me along.
It's the only skin we get. We don't get a replacement. Even if you get a facelift, it's still it's the only skin you got.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah. So I have to tell you, one time when I was doing a COC presentation, Chamber of Commerce, I said, you know what? Everyone wants to listen to me because don't all you have skin? And that's true. We all have skin. We all need to take care of it. And I forget what someone said. I think it was Jennifer who said one time, Jennifer Rogers, that Reagan, you had a comment, how long to keep the primer on before you do the foundation?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I do apply it in circular motions to make sure that like you said, you're kind of spackling. So you're smooth. You don't want to just go down this way or up this way. You kind of gentle circular motions to blend it in. And then I just leave it on for just a minute. I mean, I just like to let it kind of set. I mean, literally 30 to 60 seconds, probably at least, just to kind of let it set for just a moment. I might brush my hair, brush my teeth or something just to give it a second. And then the other thing that I noticed about this foundation primer too, is if you're putting it on and it's pilling, if it's flaking or like pilling on you, it's because you're using more than you need.
Oh, good.
And so that's another little pointer, because I'd love to spackle. Heck yeah. But you really do only need like a pea size, and everyone's a little bit different, but that's kind of a good way for you to gauge how much your skin needs.
And thank you, Reagan, for reminding me to circular, because I don't think I did that until you reminded me. Circular, right?
And too, if you look at my skin, how red my cheeks were earlier, and just the primer, calms the redness down.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the things. I do have quite a few clients actually who have rosacea, and they or just redness. They don't even have some have rosacea, some just have redder skin. And they tell me that they wear it even when they're not wearing, on the days that they don't want a foundation, just because it feels so good and it smooths. It just gives them that kind of airbrush look, and it calms the redness down. And this is not a Mary Kay claim. This is an unofficial claim, but I specifically have my clients who have said that it calms down their rosacea.
That's great. So now your face, it is ready now for applying the foundation of your choice. And Joyce is going to help us with that. There you go, Joyce. It's all you.
Thank you, Kathy. Now that I have my primer on, I will be applying my 3D Luminous foundation. We have 4 foundations. Mary Kay has 4 foundations. They have the 2 3D foundations, one in a matte and one in a luminous, and we'll talk about that during my presentation. We also have a CC cream, and we have Endless Performance cream to powder foundation. Everything's backwards on the screen.
And those go in our compacts too, our little magnet. You can do it where it's a magnet, and it goes on one side, and then your sponge applicator, we have sponges that fit just perfectly there that go on the other side in your little mirrored compact.
Yes. Okay, like I said, I will be applying the 3D Luminous foundation for normal to dry skin.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I just realized that I was not on video when I was showing that. So if they're like, okay, that's great. Let me go back and just show it. Okay. Here is what the compact looks like. So it's our compact that's a magnet, and you can fill it with eyeshadows. This is for next week. We're going to be talking about highlight and contour. So I have those in here, but you can put the cream to powder or the pressed powder, and it fills half of the compact. And then we have a sponge that fits perfectly on the other side, so that this is a great grab and go foundation for people who like full coverage and like a matte coverage. Sorry about that. I just realized I should have shown it and I went on camera.
No problem. Like I say, the Luminous is for normal to dry skin, and the matte is for combination to oily skin. The CC cream is for either. It can go either way. The Luminous provides, both of them provide long-lasting finish. They are both provide humidity and sweat resistance. And they all include our exclusive age minimizing 3D complex to help skin from being damaged caused by blue light. The Luminous foundation, show you the box again. The Luminous foundation with 23 shades provides 12 hours of moisturization, and our color range from Ivory C100 to Bronze C170. The matte provides 12 hours of oil control with 28 shades from Ivory C100 through Bronze C180. Now I'm going to be using the foundation brush. This foundation brush, it has a very lush and dense bristles, and it holds just the right amount of foundation. In fact, it allows the foundation to be applied directly to the brush. So you just put a little of your foundation there. And you start in the center of your face and dab it around. Working from the center out. Then you go back and in a circular motion, working your way up to your hairline. Don't leave a white strip. Go ahead and let the bristles touch your hair. You don't want to look like you have a mask on. And the advantage to using the brush over putting it on because a lot of times we put it on the back of our hands is, well, now I don't have to wash the back of that hand, and you end up using less product.
Yeah, I love that. I love putting it directly on the brush, just like you did. No, and you can apply these foundations with your fingers and, and the sponge
yes,
and all that, but I really love this
all kind of
brush.
tools.
And I forgot, I'm going to do a screen share real quick so they can see this fun little thing that shows all of our shades. And you can see, so if you go back to last week's training, we talked about skin undertones. We talked about how to figure out if you're a cool, a warm, or a neutral. And you can see here how, for example, maybe in the winter, if you're really fair skinned, maybe you're an Ivory 100. And if you get a little bit more sun, you can always pop up to a 110, but maybe in the summer. Now, if you're a cool, typically that's probably not a good example because cool undertones don't typically get much darker. But the idea is that you would not go to a 130 because once you know your undertone does not change. It's what you're born with. So you would actually go all the way up here to a beige 110. If the cool 110 ivory is too light, then you would look, what's the next cool color? Or if you're a warm, you would look for what is the next warm. So you don't go from 150 to 160, you go from ivory 150 to beige 100. And so what I like to do is my lightest shade that I ever wear is N160. The darkest shade typically that I wear is beige 220. So what I like to do is I get my lightest one and my darkest one, and then I mix all year long so that I don't have to have 4 different foundation shades, because I get my skin tone, I go out in the sun for 20 minutes, I'm darker than I was when I went out. So mine changes a lot. Some of y'all don't change quite as much, but I just wanted you to see that. All those cool colors. Okay.
Oh, how great.
Okay, now my foundation is on and I'm ready to go to the next step. But what I want to talk about now is our other foundations. We have the Endless Performance Cream to Powder. It's a stay true and appears fresh for 12 hours. It also is heat and humidity resistant, and it has buildable coverage that glides on as lightweight cream and dries to a soft powder finish. And this blending brush is excellent for using with the cream to powder, because you can just wipe it across and you do the same thing. You do a circular motions. This brush has got a lot of teeny tiny little bristles, and it's very soft, very extremely, it actually feels like velvet is what it feels like. You also can put, if you're using the liquid foundation, you can put the liquid right on this brush, and you can apply the cream to powder directly out of without, not dirtying your fingers anymore. You have a brush. I'm sorry. And the cream to powder comes in 16 different shades also. So we have you covered.
Literally. No pun
Literally.
intended.
Our CC cream sunscreen SPF 15, the benefits of this is like 8 in 1 step. It protects, it brightens, it corrects, it minimizes redness, it conceals, it hydrates, it reduces visible signs of aging, and it defends because it has SPF. So it's helping us out there. The other product that I'm going to show you, or the other tool, is the sponge. You can use this with the liquid also. You can put it on. What they recommend is that you use the flat part for foundation where you're moving across larger areas. And the pointed is for when you're getting, you need to get a little closer in on areas. This, you wet it first and you squeeze out all the water, and then you start using your foundation, and you will find that you will use a lot less product.
Yeah, let me just add a little note on that. So when you wet it, what you do is you put it under the sink and you squeeze it and you get it, it's completely filled. And then you want to squeeze the life out of it. And then I usually get like a clean
program there.
washcloth, or it is. It's like it's a nice little muscle crack warmer up right there. Because you want to get it as much extra moisture as you can, but it will actually be significantly bigger when it's wet, and then that helps it to apply more smoothly and not absorb all of that product, like what Joyce just already said.
Right. And another thing that you can use this one for is for applying some of your other products, like the oil mattifier. This is excellent for applying your oil mattifier for. Now, I have very dry skin, so won't be using that product.
I didn't know that. I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
I had never heard that before. I love it. I have very oily skin, so I need all the pointers I can get.
Okay, and let's see. Do that. The last product that I'm going to be demonstrating is the under eye corrector. Let's see here. Have you woke up with tired looking eyes? The under eye corrector is specifically designed for under your eyes. Peach toned concealer is the current industry standard for addressing blush purple circles underneath the eyes. The under eye corrector works for all skin tones from light ivory to deep beige. For bronze and deep bronze skin, it is recommended that you use a matching skin tone concealer to neutralize dark shadows. You apply it by simply using they call this a doe foot applicator.
Mhm.
You use the doe foot to place 1 to 3 dots for your under eye corrector under your eyes. So I'm going to try to do that without poking it in my eye. Now, again, you can use your fingers, and some people do a lot more. I'm don't have really bad, don't have a lot of purple. So now to apply it, they say you can use your finger, and they suggest that you use your ring finger because it's supposed to be the weakest finger on your hand. As you can see, Reagan is using a brush, and I have actually used the sponge, and you just dot it. You don't rub, you just dot, you're just patting it. And I mean, I can see a difference even though I don't have big dark circles, but it does it gives you a much brighter and more youthful appearance.
Hmm.
And if you have puffy bags under the eye, so this is to cover dark circles.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You can have dark circles and no eye puffiness bags, or you can have bags under your eyes with no dark circles, or you can have both. I get both. Yay me. And
So special.
Exactly. I get it all, my girlfriends. So I don't want to put the under eye corrector on the baggy puffy part, because what the under eye corrector does is it reflects light and it lifts and brightens. So I don't want to lift and brighten and bring my bag under my eye more to you, right? So what you do is it's kind of like camouflage. So I put it on just the part where it's dark underneath the baggy part. And that's one of the reasons that I really like using our cream brush, is that it makes it a little more controlled than my finger. And then if I need to use my fingertip a little bit to kind of pat it in, I do. But I love this brush. It's so light. It does not pull on my skin at all. So I just put it here underneath, and then where my eye bag is, I don't want to put any under eye corrector. Now I can put concealer there, but I do not want to put under eye corrector there. And then you might have seen me do a little bit, whatever I had extra, I went underneath this way. So I'm not touching with the brush. You can't tell on camera. I'm not touching this part. I'm literally only touching with the product above the baggy area. So again, I'm bringing it together, and then I kind of lift this way. And so that's because there's a big difference. If you put the under eye corrector under this whole area of your eye, if you have bags under your eyes, you are not going to like
the way it looks. Yeah. Well, and two, the under eye corrector is dermatologist tested. clinically tested for skin irritable and allergies, suitable for all skin types, suitable for all skin tones, suitable for sensitive eyes, including the skin around the delicate eye area, suitable for contact lens wearers. It's fragrance free, non okay, say that word.
Hygienic.
Yeah, that one. And waterproof.
Yes,
Oh,
I love it. So good. And then, and if you do have darker skin tone, what Joyce was saying before is you can either, if you really don't want to have to put it on your fingers, like, cause you can put it on your hand and then you take your skin tone's concealer and you mix it together like paint, or you could do the dots like we did and then take your concealer right over and do a couple of dots with it and kind of blend it with the brush as you do it that
yeah.
way too. Because if you just put this, if you're a dark beige or a bronze or like an ebony skin tone and you put this directly on, it's gonna look weird. You got to
Yeah.
mix it with your concealer.
Yeah.
Or you can put it on underneath and do your foundation over the top. But I like the results better doing it this way after our foundation. Love it. Awesome.
That
Joyce.
is,
So
that is
awesome.
it.
Aw, thank you, Joyce. And I tell you that every time we do one of these classes, I feel like, oh, I just had a day at the university because I always learn so much because I didn't even think about using the sponge underneath. And I didn't even think before tonight when Reagan said, okay, here's your bag. So you put it underneath because you don't want to accent, because Joyce, I do have bags under my eyes. I don't have the discoloration, but I do have baggy, especially if I haven't had a restful night. So I love that information I just got. Thank you, both of you, because this was just amazing for me. I learned so much tonight. And we're not even done.
No.
So I would like to close out tonight and with the Perfecting Concealer. And I just said how much I've learned. Well, I got to tell you that I realized when I started really studying and that I have been doing this wrong all along, because I did my primer religiously. I always did my under eye corrector religiously, but then I put on the Perfecting Concealer and then my Luminous foundation. Wrong, because if you use if you're using one of our foundations, and that would be a liquid foundation, correct me if I'm wrong at any time, ladies, you put it on over your foundation. Well, I've been doing it wrong all along. So you know what I did this last couple of weeks? I've called my customers and said, oh, we've got to do another facial. I need to do another class with you because I'm going to teach you what I just learned. Was that kind of humbling? Yes, but it was perfect because I learned from my mistakes, and now I can come to them and say, there's always room to grow, and there's always time and place to learn more. So this has taught me so much in just learning and growing and learning and growing, and realize that this is what it's all about. There's always something new. There's always someone that's going to teach you a new trick. So this is another one that, it has so many uses. The Perfecting Concealer. And it is also wonderful because it comes in 6 different shades: light ivory, deep ivory, light beige, deep beige, light bronze, and deep bronze. So it's going to, as well as it can, match your skin tone. However, if you are wearing the mineral powder foundation, which Joyce talked to you about, it goes on before. So liquid, like I use the Luminous, it goes on after. But if you use the mineral powder foundation, it goes on before. So I love what it's called. What is that called? Doe foot? I love that because
Doe foot.
I love It does kind of look like a little doe foot. So pretty and so delicate. And that's what's the beautiful part about it. It is delicate. So it's always going to take care of our skin. And being in my later 60s, I'm always about, I have to take care of my skin every day, because what we all said, it's the only skin we've got. And we need to nurture the gift that God gave us. So use that cute little doe foot applicator, and you're going to apply 1 to 3 dots on your skin. If you can use that wonderful brush, the cream brush, you can use it, or you can use your finger. Now, I use my finger, but I think probably Reagan is going to use the brush, which is perfect because we both have the techniques that fit our needs. So I use the cream brush on my finger and to gently put on. Now, I want to tell you though, my area that I want to conceal is, oh, thank you, Mom, the age spots that I have here, and I have a few of them, and I don't like them, but you know what? Mary Kay has the perfect product for it. So I just use a dabbing motion, and I put just a few little, and I'm trying to see that I'm putting it, you know, it's a little awkward here to make sure I'm putting them. But you know what they also said, because you want to make sure that you don't rub too hard and use gently. And I would use that ring finger again, using a dabbing motion. Don't use a swiping motion because that will remove the concealer. So just a dab. I'm going to go over the H spot.
Sponge is actually really good for that too. You can
there you
use-
go. And
you're just pressing it into.
okay, and I ordered some sponges in my order this week, so I'm so excited to use that. So the
This
sponges,
is also good for concealing small scars.
Oh,
I have a scar
one
here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one right here. So, and the dabbing, but as Reagan said, the sponge Reagan, would you say that's the best tool to use?
It depends
You
on
just
where
like
I'm
it?
using it. It just depends because I have from our Christmas, I have some of our last year we had that little trio set of the little sponges. And I
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
love them so much. And then this year we got the little pink with our contour. But this one, depending on what I'm trying to do, sometimes it's harder for me if I just have this tiny area. So it really depends on what I'm covering. But one of the things to think about is like I had my under eye corrector on this concealing brush. I don't want to put under eye corrector on a pimple because
No.
again, we're brightening, we're lifting and brightening, right?
Mhm.
And so I do have to be careful that I'm using a clean. So I do have I have like 2 or 3 concealer brushes so that I can always have a clean one. But when I have a pimple right here, because I have very acne prone skin. I get pretty severe cystic acne still. And so I like to do the dab. And then when I use the sponge, I'm able to just literally press it in and it just disappears.
So I don't have blemishes at this time. At least I haven't for a long time. Mine are the H spots, but I also know, and you might want to add something with this too, Reagan, that they say, use your ring finger or the sponge in 2 layers more than 1, because it helps. I don't, if you want to add any to that, but they said a lot of times with acne, with blemishes, sometimes it may take 2 layers. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think the idea is less is more. And so you don't necessarily, if you feel like you have a lot to cover, globbing a lot of concealer on is not going to work nearly as well for you as doing a tiny dot, blending it in, and then giving it a minute, and then looking and seeing if there's anywhere, and then you can go back and you can always apply just one more dot and just do a couple of layers. Because what concealer does is we do this with our lipsticks too. There's a pigmentation, right? It's a product that has skin colored pigmentation. And so like with lipstick, what we do is we apply the lipstick, we blot to remove the moisture, but leave the pigmentation. Then we apply again. And the more layering of that you do, the longer the more pigmentation you're applying. So the bolder the lipstick will be and the longer it will last. I think it's kind of that same concept with concealer. You're applying more pigmentation, but you're letting it kind of set, and you're not necessarily just globbing it on to where it just
Right.
kind of is going to go this way.
Right. So then if you're globbing it on also, instead of concealing, you're going to make it's going to be much more noticeable because it's
Well,
not.
and that's true. And we're going, so we're going back to like our last week we did color theory, and when you think about yellow cancels out red, peach cancels out blue. And so that's why the under eye corrector has a peach undertone to it, is to cancel out the blue dark circles. Whereas the concealer, you'll notice, has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it because it's designed to cancel out red. And so you're creating that color pigmentation to cancel it out. So if let's pretend like, this is a big red blemish, right? You got a big red pimple here. If I just put yellow over the whole thing, then what I'm doing is I'm creating yellow kind of, but it's just bringing it all together. Whereas if I only do yellow on exactly what I'm trying to camouflage, then it's going to neutralize it to bring it back to that same undertone that your skin is.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Totally.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't want to put concealer everywhere. You really, for it to do its trick, you really just want to put it exactly. And I have a lot of practice, y'all, because I've had really bad skin since my 20s. And it's cystic acne. It's an internal dietary hormonal thing. So my skin is incredibly healthy because I've used such good skincare my whole life. I don't have the damage that most people have who have my skin condition. And so I have learned how to camouflage and cover cysts the size of of ping pong balls on my face. It's been pretty bad in the past. And so I do have some, scarring and some things from different things. So I've learned how to cover that up. And that is a big piece of it, is to just put it on exactly what you're trying to neutralize.
What you mentioned last week, what product is it that you put under your lip to make your lips puffier, more puffy?
The under eye corrector is what you can use to highlight cheekbones. You guys might have seen me. I was applying a little bit. I don't have any cheek color or anything on yet because we're just doing foundations. So next week, we're going to talk about highlighting, contouring, and cheek color. And one of the tips that Joyce has seen me share before is using the under eye corrector. And so you'll see, we'll do more with that next week, but you can do it anywhere that you want to highlight. And it can make your lips, you can even do a little bit on the V, and it can give your lips a little bit of a pout. Now I lost my little brush. Where'd it go? There it is. Yep.
Fun. And
then you do your lip liner.
Are you using the cream? You're using the cream brush, right? Cream color brush? Okay.
Yeah. And now keep in mind, this cream brush and the liquid foundation brushes, you guys, you need to clean them after every use.
Yeah.
And one of the best, now you can use shampoo. Back when we had real hair brushes, the best thing was to use shampoo. Now you can just use Dawn, like your Dawn dish soap with I like using Dawn antibacterial. It's not great for the brushes. It kind of ages them a little bit, but because of that, antibacterial can dry them out a little bit, but it's a great way to get them nice and clean, is to use your antibacterial dish soap.
Would you recommend clean once a week or more than once a week for brushes?
With the liquid brushes, honestly, you really should clean them every time.
Yeah, and they say to lay them, after you use it, lay it down, and so it'll be all ready for you tomorrow.
On a clean washcloth. Yeah, just like lay them down on a clean towel or something. So, and that's why I have my my brush stand. I have like 3 or 4 of these. I have 4 or 5 of these because I don't like to wash my brushes every day. So I go through and then once or twice a week, I just wash them all. Yep.
Cool.
Great questions, ladies. Great tips. Okay. What else what else? Anything else that you guys want to share before we finish up?
I think that this next week, you're going to see how we do some shadowing also, which is going to be so helpful. Great just so many great steps and tricks and wonderful information and things to
I'm
learn.
looking forward to seeing that.
Yes, it's good. And Joyce is doing our training for that one. So we've got different consultants each week. And you got to
Mhm.
see Joyce 2 weeks in a row, lucky us. And she is going to teach on the Contour and Glow
Mhm.
Girl. And then
Mhm.
the next week, January 31st, we've got Wow Brows. And so then you can see that in February, we are going to do eyes and lips, lashes, and then how to create that flawless finish that lasts all day with your foundations. And of course, the skincare and moisture and priming and all of that is an important piece of that. And then going from there into how to, once you've applied everything and then setting it with our setting products, you're going to absolutely love. So y'all come back, join us next week for our Color Confident course. We have 8 weeks free. And y'all, I know I've seen so many things on Facebook and Instagram where people are advertising these classes. And as beauty consultants, we get this incredible support and education for free as beauty consultants from professional licensed cosmetologists who get paid thousands and thousands of dollars to travel around the world and teach these classes. And we just get it. And we are passing this on as our free gift to you as we want to extend the gift for each and every one of you to be able to say, I'm a more confident me in 2023. We know and believe wholeheartedly that confidence is from the inside out, that it is something that we learn by doing, which is why we invite you to join us on our Zooms. You can see these Facebook streams and recordings and all of that, but we would love to invite you to join us live on our Zooms to actually put this product on with us. We do it together, and so you can do that. And then even if you don't have the Mary Kay products, whatever's in your drawer, bring it. And if you don't have it, absolutely reach out to your beauty consultant because she would love to help you get all of the products that you need to feel absolutely beautiful and confident in the skin that you're in. So I want to say again, Kathy and Joyce, thank you so much for being such empowered women who pass on. You are so generous with your time, your heart, your talent. And I am just beyond grateful to both of you for coming on and making this such a fun and informative evening for us. I love y'all. Bye, everybody. I'm going to stop our recording now. Bye-bye.